Next up, so we've got Scout from Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia. Was that correct?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for Scout.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. I should have brought a guitar, and I should have also learned how to play guitar. So my name is Eric Ingram. I am the co-founder and CEO of Scout, and we're developing next-generation space sensing technology. So space, the one up there, not the one you're in right now, is very crowded. And over the next decade, the number of spacecraft or satellites in orbit is expected to go up 40x. We will launch more satellites in the next few years than the previous entirety of human existence. The way we currently track spacecraft is via ground Earth-based radars and telescopes. And while they work great now, as the number of spacecraft and objects in space increase, and as the number of maneuverable spacecraft increase, the ability to track those things will become increasingly strained and can cause a lot of risk to operators in that area. So if you like GPS, if you use internet-based TV and you don't want to lose the Super Bowl spontaneously, that's pretty important to you. So what we are doing is developing in-space vision systems to de-risk all of these operations. So our first product is called Scout Vision. It is a payload that goes on board customer spacecraft that provides vision to those spacecraft and allows them to be cognizant of their surroundings. So what that means is that they can then navigate relative to another object. So they can do things like proximity operations and docking maneuvers, but also things like collision avoidance. And we use a proprietary computer vision, machine learning, and guidance, navigation, and control software stack to essentially add layers of autonomy and intelligence to spacecraft. We then intend to take those same spacecraft subsystems that we've developed and put them into our own spacecraft to use them as third-person perspective observers of things in space. So you can think of them like the traffic cameras of space. We intend to do orbit-wide observation of all of low Earth orbit so that we can provide continuous coverage of orbit. So the current way of tracking things by ground becomes an obsolete concept. And we have incredibly increased information about what's going on in space and what everybody's doing and if they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. So where we are right now is we are a very efficient and capable team. We launched our first payload to space last June. We went from a computer drawing to flown flight hardware in less than 9 months with only 2 full-time people. In the space industry, that is like clinically psychotic statistics. We are a 2021 TechStars alumnus of their Space Accelerator program and a 2020 Mass Challenge Gold winner. We've raised about $1.25 million over 2 small rounds in investment and brought in about $200,000 in non-dilutive funding. This past December was really good to us. We signed our first customer contract with a company called Momentous to fly 2 of our systems on their spacecraft later this year, and we received our first DoD Phase 1 contract. Did I mention everything? Oh, and we were second place in the 2021 Hyperspace Challenge, which is a DoD-sponsored mini accelerator competition. The team that won had just raised like $45 million, so like efficiency-wise, we're doing okay. My background is very dynamic in the space industry, done everything from engineering to regulatory work to like, I don't know, space janitorial work, like I don't know, everything. My CTO has a background in almost all spacecraft subsystems and is a technical genius. My COO comes from the fintech industry and also has a background in software engineering. So he's taken startups, everything from founding to acquisition, and is also leading our software development. And we have advisors helping us out from many different perspectives of the industry, from business to defense to commercial operations to national security. And actually, like, this chart is outdated because we recently onboarded more people, so my bad. They're probably not watching. Yeah, we're actively growing. We are about to open up a seed round raise, and things are going well. So again, my name is Eric Ingram, co-founder and CEO of Scout, and we are developing a new vision for spaceflight. Thank you.
All right. Very cool. That was great. All right, who's got the first question?
I have a few questions. Let's follow up. I have more questions, but can you? So maybe I'll sneak in a two-part question.
I'm a Capricorn.
What? How? What happens when the traffic cops catch someone? What happens on the other side of that?
Traffic arrest, space traffic arrest. No, we are data collectors and aggregators. We are not the decision makers with what happens to the bad guys, but right now this data set does not exist and definitely doesn't exist commercially. So we're providing a new service. We have a lot of interest from the defense side, and so they will likely be customers of the raw data itself, but also a lot of the services we'll be able to provide. And then there's a regulatory framework called space traffic management that is under development, let's say. Talk to your congresspeople about moving that forward, please. And we're trying to position ourselves to be a means of regulatory requirements for that regulatory ecosystem.
So how do you? What
was part two?
Was really curious as to if you can just sort of describe in detail the specific IP, because I would assume that spacecraft already have cameras and other sort of navigational tools. So what is it about this that's truly unique and more efficient?
Yes, spacecraft are really good at the job they're designed to do, and none of them are designed to be able to navigate relative to other things around them. So, I mean, just rough estimate, 99.9% of spacecraft do not have this capability on board today. We're like a 90-10 split between software and hardware. Most of our IP is on the software side. Again, we have a proprietary computer vision, machine learning, and guidance and navigation and control software stack that we've developed that allows spacecraft to be cognizant of their surroundings.
You're kind of making it like a self-driving car.
Yeah, we're adding layers of autonomy to spacecraft. And we just announced yesterday that we're actually packaging those software packages up individually to be able to sell to customers who just want bits and pieces of those capabilities of the different parts of the autonomy stack. And so we can access additional marketplaces with that, with stuff we've already developed. So it's very low effort to access a ton of additional revenue potential.
So who are your clients? Just United States or other countries?
Friendly countries.
So allies.
Yeah. Our initial beachhead market is with the satellite servicing sector because their primary mission is either repairing, moving, refueling other spacecraft. And so being able to navigate and dock with their customers is really important to them making money. And we're like a fundamental step to allow them to enhance that capability. So we've gotten a lot of interest from them. Additionally, I mentioned there's defense interest for several reasons of what we're developing. And looking out to our space traffic management, space domain awareness mass market product, that's when you get into servicing users of the space commons, so people utilizing low Earth orbit, hypothetically your SpaceX Starlinks if they were to pay for something, and then other users who want to ensure the safety of their spacecraft by knowing more accurately what's happening around their spacecraft, if there's any collision risks or anything like that.
I commend you on your efficiency so far. Out of curiosity, how do you view your capital requirements over the next decade?
This is the final question.
Okay. Yeah. So short answer is as much capital as you want to give me. The longer answer is, so to get to an MVP of the space traffic management framework that I said, we're looking at about 30 million all in. We want to offset as much investment as possible with revenue, which is why we've developed our business to generate revenue with products we have developed now with different customer segments as we improve. But again, we're very efficient. I mean, with less than $500,000 invested, we got our first mission to space. We're going to do this even if we have to do it with duct tape. So we prefer to at least have very nice duct tape.
Let's hope it's not duct tape. But thank you very much, Scout. Appreciate it.